and a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Neha Bhardwaj and this is Game On. This is where you get all the latest from the world of sports. We've got cricket, we've got football lined up for you, and there's much more. We've got to though begin with that second test. All of us are looking forward to the second test, a day-night affair in Adelaide that starts on the 6th of December. But there is some bad news for fans in Australia who want to go and see their Indian cricketers, because the Indian team now has banned open net sessions for the remainder of the Border-Gavaskar Trophy in Australia after an overwhelming audience turnout for its training in Adelaide ahead of the second test. In fact, this is what happened. They had sessions in Adelaide and over 5,000 fans were there. So now what the management have decided is that sessions in Brisbane and Sydney will not go ahead because of this kind of a turnout in Adelaide on Tuesday. The fans there, the crowd created a raucous atmosphere. Indian team, they've raised concerns of being uncomfortable after the general public came up with demeaning remarks. They heckled the players while they practiced. This comes 2 days ahead of the second test at the Adelaide Oval. According to reports, as many as 5,000 fans turned up for India's practice session, and while in the videos you can see Virat, Kohli and Rohit Sharma among the other Indian stars practicing in the nets, the fans are seen to be right behind the players. The practice session then turned into this noisy and a disruptive event. Players found themselves under constant pressure, with crowds shouting instructions, demanding boundaries and making demeaning remarks about their performances in case they got out in the nets to one of the bowlers. The situation quickly became unbearable for the team. Fans were positioned extremely close to the practice nets, creating what team sources described as a far from ideal environment. Players were bombarded with requests for selfies, autographs and constant commentary about their every move during the training session. Security also became another concern, with fans crowding dangerously close to the players. The team management felt compelled to take action. Now, while the management knows that fans, of course, love to watch their favorite players up close and personal, but they also need to respect the cricketers. They have all the right to practice with closed doors, especially if they feel uncomfortable with all the unnecessary noise coming in while preparing and strategizing. In the end, all of us want the Indian team to do well. Now, ahead of the second test between India and Australia, the focus has been on India's batting order, with captain Rohit Sharma back from his paternity break and Shubman Gill recovering from injury. The question is, what will be India's batting order? Where will Rohit Sharma bat? Will he open the batting with Yashasvi Jaiswal, or will he drop down to bat in the middle order? Will KL Rahul play in the middle order after opening in the first game at Perth and scoring a brilliant 77 to bail India out of trouble in the second innings along with Jaiswal? Well, speaking at a press conference today, Rahul spoke in details about his batting and how comfortable he is batting in different positions in the lineup. Rahul said that he just wanted to be a part of the playing 11 of this Indian Test team and he did not mind batting in any position. Rahul has batted in a total of 5 positions for India in Test cricket. He's a bit of a floater. Apart from the 2 opening slots, Rahul's batted at number 3, number 4 and number 6 as well. When asked about his batting position, Pat came a cheeky reply that left everyone in splits. Rahul said he's been informed of where he will bat, but he has also been told not to share it with the media. Rahul started his Test career in Australia exactly a decade back as a middle-order batter who later opened for India. His batting slot in both the Test and ODI setup was far from steady all these years as he was moved up and down the order, and he spoke in detail about his batting and how comfortable he is batting in different positions in the lineup. He said he was okay batting everywhere as long as he was in the playing 11. Now, this is what he said. He said, and I quote, "I just want to be in the playing 11. Go out there and bat and play for the team. I just go there and try and see what I need to do to get runs in a particular situation." Luckily, I have batted in different positions early on. When I was asked to bat at different positions, it was a bit of a challenge mentally, how to play those first 20 to 25 balls, how early can I attack. Those things were a problem earlier, but it has gotten easy with the experience of playing in different formats. Whether I am batting top of the order or in the middle order, if I can manage the first 30-40 balls at the start, everything then seems like regular batting. That's what I try to focus on. Rahul said that he was told by the Indian team management that he might open in the Perth Test match quite early. He said, "I was told quite early that I'll be opening. I did not play the whole New Zealand series, and I was told fairly early that I might get a chance to open the innings. I got enough time to prepare. It's something that I've done a lot, so I knew how I was going to get my runs and what processes I needed to follow." Okay, ahead of the pink ball test between India and Australia, Damien Howe, the head curator of the pitch at the venue, spoke as Team India gears up once again to lock horns with the hosts. This is going to be a day-nighter. It will be an interesting call to see if the management tinkers with the bowling combination, which put the Aussies on the mat in Perth. Notably, India played a lone specialist spinner in Washington Sundar in the series opener, with the likes of Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja consigned to the bench. Adelaide Oval curator believes that it is essential to have a spinner for the pink ball test. Listen in to what he had to say.
That's good. Yeah, we're, what are we, 2 days out? So we're pretty happy where it's at. We're really happy, really. So it's where we want it to be. Nothing really new from what we've done over the last. Everything tends to stay the same. So it's a coarse mat of grass, even grass cover, good deep moisture, but dry and hard. So something where the quicks will get a bit out of it. Spinners will be able to get some bite and turn and bounce. But also important for us to get some partnerships in the players and the batters to be able to play their shots. It should. Adelaide Oval traditionally plays a role, spin plays a role, so we don't see that changing, and I think history suggests that spin plays a role out here, most definitely.
Howe also said that he and his team are trying to create a pitch that should provide an even contest. He also added that the new ball under the lights will be tricky and that India batters might find it hard to handle if the home team gets an opportunity to operate with the new ball when the lights are on.
The players will dictate that. We'll look. All we do is try to produce a pitch that provides an even contest between bat and ball. Both teams have like elite bowlers, world-class bowlers. I mean, we've seen enough day-nighters to know that if you get the new rock under lights with two new batters in, that it can be very tricky. So, you know, the teams obviously play that game and adapt and are quite tactical when they do that. If there's an opportunity to get the new ball under lights, it'll be tricky. So if they don't, which a Shield pitch showed that if you didn't get the new ball under lights and you had a couple set batters in, you're able to see through some nighttime cricket. Our focus has always been on that. How do we produce an even contest, whether it was the old square that we had or whether it's a drop-in? So how do we produce that contest? For us, we've got a game plan that we stick to. In general, feedback has been really positive. Do we always get it right? You don't always get it right, but it's not through a lack of trying. So as long as you know that you're giving it your all, you're trying to create that balance, and you want the players to be able, or the batters to be able to have their time to shine as well. You just got to do the best you can. I don't get caught up in the ball side of things. My job's really just to produce a pitch and do the best I can with the strip of grass. So that's what we focus on. And we're always seeking feedback from the players. But yeah, we'll see how it goes this week.
Okay, with that, time for us to slip into a short break. But on the other side, Bayern Munich are knocked out of the German Cup by Bayer Leverkusen. That and more when we return.
The beauty is of leadership being able to acknowledge and flex and mold and inspire and get the best out of their people.
Unfortunately, there's no holy grail. There can be an organization that's the darling of the markets, doing well, delivering results.
If Shakespeare had been there, I think probably he would have written another tragic comedy.
The wages, the work conditions of these white-collared workers is far better and much higher than those of blue-collared workers.
Unfortunately, that is what I believe has deteriorated and deteriorated big time.
There could be regional offices, there could be country-specific offices where the atmosphere is very toxic, and this is reality.
On human narrative of how corporate India or any corporate world functions, sadly.
So generally in the beginning, when the white-collar jobs were on the rise, it was felt, especially by the white-collar workers, because they were too self-centered, individualistic, and they did not feel the need to come together and bargain for better work conditions, safety at workplaces.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Welcome back. Let's get you all the latest from the beautiful game. Bayern Munich's DFB Pokal campaign came to a sudden end as they lost 1-0 to Bayer Leverkusen in their round of 16 tie. Manuel Neuer's early red card left Bayern with 10 men for over 75 minutes, and Nathan Tea's second half goal sealed their exit. Despite dominating possession, Bayern couldn't break through Leverkusen's solid defense. Bayern started brightly, creating early chances through Alphonso Davies and Kingsley Coman. However, the match took a drastic turn when Neuer was sent off for a reckless challenge on Jeremy Frimpong. This forced an early substitution with Daniel Peretz coming on for Leroy Sané. Even with a man down, Bayern pushed forward. Leon Goretzka and Coman came close, but Leverkusen threatened through Florian Wirtz and Granit Xhaka. Both sides struggled to convert chances, leaving the scoreline goalless at half-time. The second half followed a similar pattern, with Bayern controlling possession but failing to create clear opportunities. Leverkusen capitalized on their chance, however, when Alejandro Grimaldo delivered a perfect cross for Tea, who headed the ball past Peretz to score the winner. Bayern desperately searched for an equalizer. Serge Gnabry's shot was deflected wide, and Dayot Upamecano missed a header. In stoppage time, Michael Olise, he had the best opportunity, but his shot went narrowly wide. The final whistle confirmed Bayern's elimination, extending their DFB Cup struggles for another season. This defeat increases the pressure on Bayern Munich, who haven't won this competition since 2020. With only the Bundesliga and Champions League left to fight for, questions will be raised about the team's depth and tactical flexibility under Vincent Kompany.
In the Allianz Arena, Grimaldo allowed to progress and wrap that left foot around it. There's the breakthrough. Nathan Teller. He's not been on very long, What a change that is from Xabi Alonso. Rising high.
Chelsea's players have been able to implement Enzo Maresca's style of play quicker than the Italian manager expected, but he said on Tuesday that the team still had room for improvement ahead of their Premier League game against Southampton. Maresca was brought in earlier this year and tasked with returning Chelsea to the Champions League after the London outfit finished 6th last season and 12th in the 2022-2023 campaign. Chelsea are third in the standings with 25 points from 13 games, level with second-placed Arsenal and 9 points behind leaders Liverpool. Maresca, in fact, agreed that he was surprised at how well his side were doing. He also said that the team was ahead of the expectations, considering that he and the team have been together for only 4 to 5 months. Chelsea will be looking to extend their 5-game unbeaten run in the league when they visit Southampton, but Maresca warned that the club's position in the standings was not indicative of their actual level. Liverpool and Manchester City were both made to work for their narrow wins over Southampton in the recent weeks, while Russell Martin's side also managed to draw with 4th place Brighton in their last league fixture. Maresca added that defender Wesley Fofana, who limped off the pitch in Chelsea's 3-0 win over Aston Villa on Sunday, will be sidelined for weeks with a hamstring injury. Fofana's absence will be keenly felt, with the Frenchman having built a strong relationship with Levi Colwill at the heart of Chelsea's defence. And this is what he said. It was a big loss because West was doing fantastic every game, but that they needed to accept it and find a solution.
For sure, I still consider a big job, as you said. But this doesn't mean that because it's a big job, you are not thinking to do the right things. In terms of expectation, we are ahead of my expectation in the way we are playing, and for sure in terms of results. We start 4 or 5 months ago. It's very early, short time together. But the best feeling that I have is that there are many things that we can do better, and we are in the right direction. Because of the age and because how good is the squad, for me Chelsea in the next 5-10 years will be one of the team that is going to dominate English football. This is what I said to the club the first time I met them. No matter who will be the manager for the next 5-10 years, because of the age and because of the squad, you can dominate English football. And I still think exactly the same. Now, in terms of target, they didn't ask me any target. The only thing they asked me is to try to build for the next years something important. I think we are in the right direction.
Inter Miami's Javier Mascherano is ready to silence the skeptics as he takes the reins with little managerial experience under his belt. He is the new Inter Miami head coach, and he spoke to the reporters yesterday on rejoining his former Barcelona and Argentina teammate Lionel Messi at the MLS side. Team owner Jorge Mas, he seemed to confirm many fans' suspicions when he said this week that Messi had a part in influencing the hiring of Mascherano. According to the media reports, after the two players spent years on the pitch for club and country, Messi was the one who in fact chatted with the owners and convinced them of getting Mascherano. The 40-year-old Mascherano, who coached Argentina's youth teams after hanging up his boots 4 years ago, has never managed a club but said he had every confidence that he could deliver despite his short coaching resume. Miami named Mascherano head coach days after Gerardo Tata Martino. He stepped down from the role following the top-seeded team's shocking first-round defeat in the MLS Cup playoffs at the hands of 9th seed Atlanta United last month. Mascherano, who won 2 Champions League, 5 La Liga titles, 5 Spanish Cups and 2 Club World Cups with Barca, has no experience in top-flight North American League, but said proof of his abilities would be in the team's results. Mascherano will be managing Luis Suarez as well, who is his former teammate, along with Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets in addition to Messi. The team faced added pressure in the new year after FIFA controversially awarded them a route to the Club World Cup on the back of them winning the Supporters' Shield for finishing top of the MLS standings after the regular season. The expanded Club World Cup will be hosted by the United States from June 15 to July 13th next year.
Obviously, people can have their own opinions. And of course, they are valid. But I am obviously convinced that I am qualified to coach the team. I am very excited about it. Sometimes in football, we can put too much weight on experience. But for me, on top of coaching the Argentina international youth teams, where there's always a lot of pressure, even though they are youth teams, I'm also backed up by my almost 20-year-long playing career and all the experiences I've had. It would be hypocritical to come here promising titles. What you have to promise is to work hard to have a competitive team. I think the goal of the club is to go for all the different competitions we are in. And competing means fighting until the very last minute. To be in with the chance to win every single competition we are in. You know, this season we have the Club World Cup, where we'll be up against teams that are a lot stronger than us and have a lot more history than us. But we have to put together the best squad we can muster to be competitive.
In 2019, we're doing a multi-layered deal with playing his last year and then coaching. And for whatever reason to go through, it was my desire to have him here. I always admired him as a player and his characteristics, and I always thought that he would be an amazing mentor to our young players as our opening season. But 5 years later, he's here, so it's fate.
Well, that's it on this edition of Game On. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
If it's a cancer, then what?
It's very distressing.
Anyone can have cancer.
Mentality है कि ये बीमारी मुझे नहीं हो सकती.
There's a thing called cancer is right inside me.
सबसे पहले जो होता है ना, डर जो होता है कि now at the end of the world.
My life went upside down.
Stigma associated with it, which is very scary.
In our country, more than 14 lakh people get diagnosed with cancer every year. Out of that, more than 9 lakhs die every year because of cancer.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Heartfelt appreciation to News 9 and TV 9 Network for organizing Global Summit.
I like to thank TV 9 for presenting here a wonderful fusion of politics, industry,
जर्मनी और गुजरात के बीच इस मजबूत संबंध सेतु को न्यूज़ 9 ग्लोबल समिट का आयोजन और भी मजबूत बनाएगा। इस विश्वास के साथ आप सभी को एक बार फिर बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
I thank TV9 and the government of Germany for organizing this wonderful conference, and I wish you all the very best.
Valuations can be frothy. Going public is almost like what some of us would like to say is the holy grail, right? IPOs are a trend, not a bubble.
Do secondary markets exist? Answer is absolutely yes, and it's been around for a very long time.
Valuations could be high or low, and valuations may correct over time, but IPOs are here to stay. It is basically a graduation ceremony of sorts. It is potentially where a startup stops being a startup and starts becoming an enterprise.
The IPO space has just started in the past 24 months. The startup ecosystem has been around for 15 years.
Fundamentally, if you have a strong business and you have predictability of cash flows and you can actually give with a fair degree of confidence where the business is headed, the market will reward you.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Jonty, Rhodes and Alan Donald, they're kind of the reason why I started playing.
I think most young spinners, when they're growing up, Shane Warne was just everything, wasn't he? He was one of the greats of all time.
Playing against India was always challenging in India.
We're not allowed to bowl a bouncer, so that tells you that they want to see runs on the board. Clean ball.
It's totally different era you in and we are in.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
India and Sweden bilateral ties go as far as India's independence.
We have now more than 75 years of diplomatic relations. Green transition is a survival issue for us, for the world, and also for India. Even the small solutions have a big impact. For us, the will to invest in India is already there. India is a country that keeps us busy. The potential is there and we are ready to exploit it. That's actually how you build the cultural bridges.
And this is The Diplomat.
India's neighborhood has been in turbulence all throughout.
Sheikh Hasina was forced to resign and take refuge in India.